Hey guys, Maria Menounos here. Hope you tune into my show, Untold with Maria Menounos, this Thursday night at 8 on E!
You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Love my mama, she's a favorite girl. My mama, my favorite girl. I'll always love my mama.
Okay, shout out to all the
She'll
moms out
run
there.
in this world and she'll take me out. Yes, she will.
Hey, AfterBuzz fans, welcome to another great after show for ABC's Blackish. I'm your host, Courtney Tezeno, and I'm joined with two lovely co-hosts. You know the drill, ladies. Introduce yourselves.
What up? What up? It's me, Megan Thomas. I missed you guys. I've been gone for a couple weeks, but I am here. Hey.
Same here. I'm Shaprintance Lynn, and I've missed you guys.
All happy to be back, minus Stacey. I know you guys are going to miss her this episode. But we are on Season 1, Episode 8, Oedipal Triangle. What exactly does that even mean?
Okay, so it's kind of like the Oedipus complex. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No.
Like in Greek mythology, he was born to King Elias and Queen Jocasta, or whatever the names are. But anyway, it has something to do with like a child being attracted to their parent. So it's so funny because in this episode, obviously,
We see that.
Yes,
that's
there's
so
definitely a
relevant.
triangle.
Okay.
I get
Attracted
it.
to your
sleeping in the bed with
That's
mama.
that's like psychology. If you take child psychology,
Yep.
they'll call it penis envy, or I forgot the name for the female.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Vagina envy.
It's, yeah, I guess.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy how we can get attached. But this episode, we had a guest star, Jennifer Lewis. Yes.
Well, I have a question though. Why is she the mama in every single movie?
She is always.
I feel like she's the same person in every movie.
The
She got a
loud
different-
mama.
The different hairstyle and different wardrobe, but it's always the same person.
The same. I mean, between her and Angela Bassett, I see that a lot. I'm
Right,
like, come on, they bring it.
Right.
So she kind of brought the funny, but she had to, as we know, be the mom. So this episode, she's Dre's mom, and she comes in for a visit for the family, and we see right off the back that she is that mother-in-law
Right.
that does not get along with his wife, and they've been married 16 years. But I mean, let's just break it down. How was that first initial visit?
What did you say? The spring and the winter.
Okay, yeah, we saw in the beginning that obviously he was in the spring, happy for her to come, and then Bo was in the winter. She was dreading the whole visit.
Right.
She was a good sport. I don't know if I could have handled it as good as she did. As well
Really?
as she did. I really don't.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of families where this happens, where of course a lot of mama's boys
Oh,
get
yes.
married,
Yeah.
and then the wife is always like, "Oh my gosh, my mother-in-law." Oh.
Right. You just make it so hard to make it through the whole marriage. Like
Right.
every time you come visit, it's something.
Especially because they've been married 16 years.
16
Honey, you need to let that go.
She
Not
has
Ruby.
to, after the 7th year, it's time to let it go. Okay. But we see that Dre is just like, he's going overboard for his mom. He's like, okay, she can't use cotton sheets. Like, that's for your mom, Bo. Like, my mom is on another level. And then we see, did you guys hear in the beginning when she talked about, like, she cut in the middle of the first dance? Like,
Yeah.
who does
Right.
that?
Right.
Like, come on, mama, you go get your dance.
And her chronic bronchitis started acting up
Right.
during the objections during the wedding.
And then chronic bronchitis at the house because of the dust, the alleged dust. Come on.
Right.
There was no
Right.
dust.
Oh,
there was normal dust, as Bo said. So, I mean, obviously we see that she's a little passive aggressive with Bo. She's trying not to, like, let the kids know that she's being a certain way, but she's just not the best mother-in-law.
Right.
I mean, what did you guys think about the
She's a
passive
little
aggressiveness?
clingy. I don't know if it comes from also the fact that maybe she doesn't have a man. She didn't bring a man friend, a Mr.
divorced.
Joe around her. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
everybody got Mr. Joe, old lady. She didn't bring a Mr. Joe with her, so she probably needs somebody to hold on to. So I guess she feels like, oh, my baby boy will always be that one for me.
Right. I mean, but we heard that she's divorced from Pops.
Right.
I mean, I can't even imagine them being married. Like, they would butt heads.
That would be just the Clash of the Titans.
Right. And I am so sad that he wasn't here in this episode. I hope she's still here the next episode and then he comes home because I want to see that interaction. That would be so funny.
Amazing. Them together is just like, that should be an episode in itself.
Right. Yes. Like they hate each other and they start loving each other again. Like it's going to be so weird.
But we know that's not going to happen. Like, I mean, it's been so long that they have been divorced. Like,
You don't know what they do.
Okay, so objection.
Mama Ruby got to get herself.
She does.
Not get herself.
Her Zulu Cherokee heritage.
Right. So, okay, let's just go ahead.
Is that you, Courtney? You got Zulu Cherokee
I got the
heritage?
Brazilian. I'm sorry to all the Brazilian women out there. They're clip-ins. They're coming in now. Anyways, so we see that she's coming with gifts, as our grandparents all do. I mean, my grandparents came with like the fruit and stuff, but she came with.
My grandmother never gave me a thong.
Never.
I don't think.
Wait, why you had to stutter? Wait, did she?
Grandma, did she bring me a thong?
No. Actually, the first time my grandmother saw that I owned a thong, she was doing laundry and was very like.
So that gotta rebuke that out.
Rebuke that out.
Rebuke the thong love out of your life.
They're for panty lines. But anyways,
what did people do back in the day? They just like accepted panty lines.
I think so.
I mean, they wore stockings. They had the panty lines. They were up for everything.
And then there was back then. It was more so dresses and skirts, and not so much pants.
But you can definitely see the underwear with the skirts.
We need to go back to that.
It's the slip.
Oh, it's the slip. Yeah,
it's a slip.
For those of you who don't know what slips are, it's like the dress. It's like a little dress. I don't know what you would describe. It's like a skirt that you put under your dress. It's always like really, really thin
and
material.
It's like satin a lot of times.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
some of them have lace at the bottom so that when it comes past your skirt, you just have that fringe.
Oh my gosh, I still wear a slip, y'all.
No, you don't. Megan is lying, everyone. She does not wear a slip.
Because some days, you don't want to wear a thong. So I'm going to put the slip on.
Megan.
Why?
Where do you buy slips from?
I think I've had it for like 10 years.
I'm gonna rebuke that. We gotta update the Spanx or something. Come on now.
I need to get Zoe's thong from Grandma Ruby.
Yes, Black Friday's coming up. Victoria's Secret will have a sale.
My slip that you described so eloquently.
Okay. You are showing your age with the slip. Stop. Anyways, so we go from the slip and the thong, and like she got a PlayStation, she got nunchucks?
Yes.
Okay. And then we move on, and they get into the Zulu Cherokee Indian hair.
Right.
So she's just like going on and on about how, if I were you, I wouldn't press my hair. I'm all about being natural. And she's just projecting her thoughts on how she should raise her kids. Have we seen that with mother-in-laws?
Well, I want to just touch on the Cherokee part real quick. Because for those of you who do not know, in Black culture, a lot of my people tend to say that they have a little Cherokee in them, and that seems to be the running, thing, that everyone has a little Cherokee in them. And in fact, no one ever did any research. They just heard from Grandma and them that they had Cherokee, because they got some good little baby hair or something right here.
And Zulu too, because that is like a small portion of one African nation.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know. Like, there's not that many people that playing Zulu.
I don't know that many people that rep the Zulu, but I will say that my family reps the Cherokee, and we do.
Okay.
We do have proof.
Okay. What's your proof? You go to Ancestry.com?
No, not Ancestry.
Oh, your grandma?
Yes, we do. We have old pictures. My grandmother was like full Cherokee.
Are you sure it was Cherokee and not like Creek Indian or Iroquois?
No. She was. I know I sound very ignorant right now, but I promise you guys, she was full Cherokee.
Okay,
I mean, hair down to the butt.
Okay, Grandma Ruby, we believe you. We got you.
Let's move on because I'm definitely wearing the clip-ins now. Anyways.
Right.
Anyways, so we see that she has an issue with real food versus rabbit food, and I mean, we know that Grandma can throw down with the soul food.
Right.
We saw that, but I mean, we're in a different day and age. Bo is more into the healthy living. I mean, her kids know about diabetes and food. I mean, diabetes and all of that stuff. So why would she give them soul food and give them a heart attack?
But no, the question I have regarding that, though, is why is it as Black people, especially older Black people, do we see that they seem to be more anti-health food and anti-therapy, mental health, healthy mental health. Why is it that our people do that?
Our people love things that taste good. That's what I've always heard. You got to put a little bit of seasoning here. Got to do a little bit there. You got to fry it a little. But
But I don't know it's that it tastes not good. I think
it's just they're conditioned to doing that, because back in slavery days, they were given the scraps and they had to make something of the scraps, and then that's what you get. That's where you get your chitlins and you get your
you get hog maws and chitlins, because people didn't want to. The big house, they didn't want to eat that stuff. They didn't want to eat hog maws, all that stuff. So you give that to your slaves, and your slaves in turn will have to cook that. But a lot of that is saturated in fat, and fat does taste good. It has a special taste.
Exactly. Good, honey.
It has flavor.
It tastes like dirty.
I will never.
I love chitlins.
My mother, my father.
Country.
I am country.
My family is country, and the smell of it will turn me off. I can't do it.
I used to work in a soul food restaurant and had to clean them. Once you clean them, you don't want to. You don't want to eat them. That's nasty. But yeah, so I should ask you this, Shaprintance, since you over here eating some chitlins.
I eat my chitlins and I eat my kale and quinoa.
All together. Not as parsley? You don't use that as like some garnish?
No. I love
my God.
making food with parsley, though. It's like one of my favorites.
You're so funny. But I think it's a serious problem, especially in our community, where we have people who think that getting help for something that's going on psychologically is wrong. The fact that Grandma Ruby says to Bo that, oh, well, I'm not going to hold it against you that you decided to seek therapy once you have these kids. Everybody's not equipped to be a mom. Right. That to me was a low blow. That should have been something she should have been applauding and saying, you know what? Good job, Rainbow, that you said, I don't want these kids to make me go nuts. I'm going to seek help for this.
Right. And she didn't know if she was dealing with postpartum. Right. That's a thing. And
I saw an article today that was talking about how people take mental illnesses so lightly. Like, they don't compare it the same way we compare, like, physical things that we're going through, like people that are going through cancer and things like that. They don't weigh it the same. Right. And if you're diagnosed, like, that's something that you can't control. You have to take your medicine or like get help for that.
I think is you don't understand it till you go through it, or you have someone close to you go through it.
Right.
And it is a thing. And yes, pray it out. Whatever, shout it out, whatever. But if also have that backup for therapy and speak to a professional about what's going on in your head. And I don't like that it's so taboo to go and seek a therapist and professional help for your mental issues.
And then why is it that older generations, or in this case Jennifer Lawrence's character, Lewis' character, she said that Jesus in a bath is all you need? Like, why?
That is so old school, but I feel like that is what a lot of older black people, even people our age, will still think that, especially men as well, will go, you know what, I don't need any help, because I think that signifies being weak if you need somebody to help you. And we have to get out of that as a community. You know what I mean? Because everyone needs help. Doesn't mean you're weak. It means that you're normal, because everybody has problems. You know what I mean? Let us know what you think.
Yes.
Why don't you go to iTunes and subscribe to our iTunes channel? It's really easy. Just search for AFTERBUZZ TV, and then search also in the search box put Blackish, and then our podcast will come up. Subscribe. It's free. It's easy. And every time we post a podcast, you will get it. So you can listen to us, and you can post your comments on there and give us 5 stars. And tell your mama's friends and her friends' friends and your auntie and your grandma Ruby, because we know you got one.
And to segue into that, last week we got one comment, which is shocking. We finally had a male host, and the one comment we got was, boo, where are my beautiful black queens? They were just like, how are we replacing this guy with 2 beautiful hosts? So just so you guys know, that was temporary. Our girls were just out, and we will have Kevin back on for the male perspective, but they're not gone. Obviously, you see that.
We're here, but y'all some haters. Kevin is amazing.
That's the one thing the one thing he said was he's a great host. If we have to replace him, he's a great host.
Yes, he is.
So it was a good comment to you guys. So yeah.
Well,
okay, let's go ahead and get over into Junior. Junior, we saw that this little awkward boy, he's trying to break out of the friend zone with this girl that's kind of on his level. I think her name was Natalie Natalia, we don't know.
Natalie Harris.
Yeah, okay, so he wants to go that route with her, someone in his league, and Zoe is like, no, you need to go a little bit higher. So
was that really higher though?
That wasn't. That
In the high school hierarchy of things, yes, it was.
Yeah.
The super senior,
true.
I think that's
She's a held back senior, honey.
exactly. So we see that Junior is trying to go after this girl named Kyra, who's like she's wearing.
No, we have to get it right. Kira Kang Noosebomb. Because you remember we met her mom, Crazy Mom, in that episode with Dre when he went to go to school to be like the cool dad.
Yes.
The Crazy Mom was Kira's mom. Yes.
Wow.
That same last name, Kang Noosebomb. honey. That's her mama.
So Kira, not Kyra. Got it. Okay, so they try to set her up with Kira, and I thought it was so funny that Zoe is just like a player. Like, she just knows exactly what to do. So let's go through the steps. First, the compliment. Then, what was it after that?
Well, you gotta get the toothpick.
Your
little ditty toothpick.
That he choked on.
My God. So,
Goodness. Oh.
So men will compliment you in the beginning, and then what did I write down? Let's see.
Check out another girl.
Jealousy stare.
Jealousy.
Yeah. Jealousy stare. And then the touch the elbow. I don't need you touching me, though.
But she said not like a creepy pervert, like, graze.
Graze the elbow real soft.
Right.
So did he succeed at all in that scene?
Apparently so, because Kira Kang Noosebomb was like, hey, let me take you out to Chipotle.
Well, he paid for it.
I was like, he did pay for it.
I mean, he was supposed to.
Yeah.
You mean she asked him out, but we expect the guy to pay, unfortunately.
I know.
Yeah. I'm like,
sorry, guys.
But see, it was Chipotle, so that was about $7 a peep, $14, $20. That's all he needed. Come on now. So that was a good little date, right?
High school, yeah.
Steep in high school, honey. That's a weak paycheck.
That's not.
I hope not. Minimum wage is 7 something and over in most
Like $9
places.
in California.
Yeah, but
You can't work minors too much, though.
Right, you can, especially Junior. We saw that last time.
Right.
So then we see that the date is, was it a success, really? I mean,
now she used him.
she uses him. She uses him to get an older, rich guy on The Bachelor. Yeah.
And poor little Junior, he's so clueless. He really was like, yeah, she took me back to her house after Chipotle, and I edited her video for The Bachelor.
He's adorable.
I did not use the star swipes.
What is Star Swipes?
I don't even know.
It's a type of transition from one.
That's what I thought, but I was like, I don't know if that's what he meant. Okay.
Okay, so we see that. But I really want him to go back and get the one that he wanted.
I think we're gonna see more of Natalie in upcoming episodes because they're so cute. They're both like they have the same interests.
Yeah.
Let's look in the trash for foil for gum so we
They're
can go
both
recycle
nerds.
it.
Yeah, which is disgusting. But I feel like she might blossom because it's always that nerdy one that's like super smart, and then all of a sudden she just fine as hell one day.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see that, I hope. And then we get into, what did you guys think about Zoe? How she was acting when he got back from the date?
She was like, I think you can tell as a teenager, she hinges everything on her popularity and how people view her. And so, of course, not only is she super cool and she's the queen of the social scene, I mean, obviously, if you have this, like, nerdy brother, then that just brings your stock down a little bit in high school terms.
They don't associate.
Right, so she's trying to bring them up so they could be like, the Johnsons are cool, not Zoe's kind of cool, but her brother is horrible. You know what I mean? So she's trying to, this is her reputation on the line.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So do we think her reputation is going to take a hit for this or what?
No,
Probably
not anymore than it may have already.
I know he was digging in the trash. Like, let's be real. Your brother's digging in the trash, Zoe. I'm sorry, but nobody's gonna be like. You can't get worse than that, okay?
You can't, but I feel like when you're on that level, like you're almost invisible to everyone else.
Yeah.
Like they don't see him digging in the trash, like unless Zoe's next to him, and then they're like, "Isn't that your brother digging in the trash?" Like that's the only time I would think he would even be relevant at this on the high school scene.
And I think she felt like her social status would be raised if he was talking to Kira, because it seems as Kira is like even more popular than Zoe is.
Really?
So because if you think about it, she's a super senior. So think about when you was in high school and like the people who had been held back, like everybody kind of knew them. Like they were kind of cool. I don't know why, because they had been held back in high school.
Oh man.
I don't know why we thought they were cool, but yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, oh, she's really hot. She's pretty. She's way older. She's 18, so she can like get cigarettes for everybody.
Oh no!
Horrible.
But do you guys think she was actually worried when he got back? Like when he got back and she was like, "Where are you?"
I think she was worried to see what happened. So like, did it go bad? Because if so, that means I'm gonna look bad.
I think that's exactly what it was.
That's how she said, "Oh my gosh, I got played." Like,
right.
I think for a second I have hope in Zoe that she's not that shallow. I think for a second she was worried about him.
Well, maybe.
Well, yeah, it wasn't his first date.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, I would think she'd be a little bit concerned.
Making sure he was okay.
Yeah, didn't get left on the side of the road.
She did Dee's hair when she had them combs tangled in there.
Yeah, she has a little bit of compassion.
Yeah, she's a good sister.
As far as image, she will never let them leave the house looking a certain way.
Right.
So, I mean, she's a good sister.
Yes.
Yeah, but he came back looking real fly from his date, though. I should say that.
Yeah, with the little skinny top.
Yes. You better do it then, Junior.
It was adorable.
Yes.
Go boy. But I was kind of sad to see, like, we saw all the other kids, but we didn't really see the little boy. Like,
where was he?
I mean, we saw him when Grandma came, but where was he? Like, why was he not in any of the scenes?
But they kind of do that. You know, they kind of switch it up. Sometimes we see more, like he had a whole episode about him hiding.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of switch it up.
Yeah. I mean, but Diane did amazing. Like, what was the one line that she put?
I don't internalize.
Exactly. I don't internalize it. People argue. I'm like, you are beyond your years, honey.
I love her. I love her character.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So that's another question I wanted to ask. So, of course, we see the scene where she is, getting her hair half straightened and half fro because Mama Ruby finally says, okay, maybe I've overstepped my boundaries. I was wondering, like, what is too much for grandparents? As far as when it comes to how the grandchildren are being raised, where do you draw the line where, like, okay, I probably shouldn't step over these boundaries and say anything to my kids about how they're raising their kids?
I think you should, as a grandparent, I think you should give advice because you've been there, done that, but respect that you are not that child's parent and that they are their parents and they're going to raise them their way. Because you may have done some things, that weren't right.
Exactly.
Like Dre's damaged childhood.
Yes.
Latchkey kid. He
Poor
was
latch.
poor child.
Poor child.
A loose key in his pocket.
Right.
I definitely have to agree with that. I mean, I think that they need to communicate with the significant other. Like, if you're going to communicate with your son, you kind of have to have that same relationship because as a mother, you don't want anybody stepping in your situation for raising the child. So I think she should have communicated with her like, hey, why don't we try to switch it up and do natural? Just make a suggestion. But actually, like, going and taking the child's hair and washing it and getting it in the fro, that was unnecessary.
And she has to look at Bo like that's her daughter too. So Bo is her daughter. So treat her as such.
And she doesn't.
And I give it to Bo because for 16 years for this to be happening and she's never once went off on this lady, I'd have been like, you cannot come into this house until you respect the fact that I am the mother of these children. Just like somebody had to respect the fact that you are the mother of Dre.
Right.
I give it to her. She's kept the peace. If I'm over here waiting in the bathtub that my husband has set for me and I find out he over here sleeping with his mama.
With a biscuit.
With a biscuit.
A biscuit.
So many issues with that. You don't get
crumbs all in the bed. Yes.
I would just be so upset. So she's always handled it with grace.
Yeah.
I really like
she's very
Rainbow's
passive.
character.
She's very passive, and I'm glad this episode we saw her kind of stand up for herself.
Right.
But having a mother-in-law like Jennifer Lewis,
right?
I don't know how I would not be passive. Like she is like in your face at all times.
Right.
Yeah, she cut you.
Right, but I was mad that Dre didn't say more. I felt like, these women have been in your life for this long. You should have stepped, because it tells you in the good word, when a man and a wife get joined together, they are one, okay? It's not you and your mama and then your wife. No, you and your wife.
Exactly. So obviously Zoe got that memo this episode.
Right.
She knew. But I mean, he tried to make amends after 16 years, and we see this episode that he brings Bo and his mom to the special spot, which they thought was, special for one another.
He took, what's his name? At work's advice, separate but equal.
Let's discuss that fully.
Oh my gosh.
I think he needs to stop listening to his coworkers because the boss is, what did his boss say? Pretend to nap with everyone. That's how I made it through my marriage.
Okay, cheater.
Excuse me? Exactly.
Next, sorry.
Okay, next. And then what's his coworker that said the separate but equal?
I can't remember his name.
He always says crazy stuff every episode.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, wait a minute, and everybody, all the black people kind of hushed a little bit, like, wait, what? What you say, separate but equal? We're not going back to Jim Crow, honey.
Right.
You ain't gonna put us back in no Jim Crow.
Exactly. Separate but equal. What did you mean by that? Like, I think that's the great thing about Black. It's just that you can talk about stuff like that without having to talk about it. Like, it's just, it was amazing.
It was funny. Like, we busted out laughing.
Right.
We was like, wait, what?
It was a pause.
And then we just busted out laughing. So funny. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we see that they take them to the secret special spot, and this is the spot where he proposed to Bo and told his mama, I'm going to college. Like, that was hilarious. When do they even do stuff like that?
Right.
I didn't know you take your mom to a special place and say you go to college, but
But he probably should have explained to both of them, like, this is my special spot.
Yeah.
So you both are important to me, so I've shown my special place to you. This is not your special. If you want to make this your special place too, Bo, fine. If Mom, you want to make this your special place, great. But this is why I brought you here for these events, because this is my special place.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like if he said that, then it would have made more sense. Like, okay, neither one of y'all can take claim to this spot. It's my spot, actually.
Yeah, because every time I feel like Mom took over and it's like, well, I was first, and she will always be first. We get it. We get it, Jennifer.
I'll always love my mama. Sorry. Come on.
And then Bo, I mean, we obviously see that she's kind of hurt to find out that her proposal spot was like some leftovers.
Right.
But, I mean, at the end of it, they do bond, which is a great thing. They bond over the fact that Dre is dirty, and he's a dirty man that decides to make finger sandwiches without washing his hands.
Right.
so pumping gas in the backseat of his car.
Oh, my gosh. I'm a germaphobe, so when he said that, I was like, ah!
Just put sandwich down, never again.
Right.
That was disgusting. But then we see that it goes back to Mama is still dominant. She comes home, and we think that it's like a nice gesture. She thought of this on her own, and she's pressing Diane's hair because Bo was, upset earlier about it being natural. And we find out that, again, this is all set up. Dre is always setting up situations to make things better, and they just get worse.
Right. When I saw this, I wrote this down. I was like, I get that when you're married, you're with your spouse, but there's times when you're like, okay, my wife is a mother, and maybe she's doing this, and this, and I want to talk to my mom about some of the things that my wife is doing as a mother. Like, is there a line that should be drawn? Is it okay to talk to your mother about something your spouse is doing, or talk to your father about something your husband's doing? Is that okay? I feel like it's okay, but I guess where do you draw the line?
There is a line. But yeah, I think you should, because, your father will understand a male point of view. Your mother will understand a woman's point of view. So, you'll gain some insight. And if your parents are still together, then you'll gain knowledge from their years of, going through it. But there is a line. There's just stuff you don't, stuff you're supposed to keep in your relationship that you handle in your relationship.
Exactly.
Because your parents are less forgiving than you are. So if you do tell your parents something that your spouse did, they're not going to forgive them as easily as you are.
Right.
I think there's a blurred line when it comes to things like this. When it's a mother and a mother-son relationship, I think that in itself is like almost like that line needs to be cut, because you're dealing with a woman, and it's just very weird. Like, where am I trying to go with this? So with Dre and his mom, I feel like it would be better if we saw him connecting with his dad and having that bromance situation. But when you're stepping on your wife's toes by going to your mother, I think that it's just like a gender thing that you can't really cross. Like, you can't tell her everything, because like we said, she's going to have a bad perception of your wife if you're telling her, oh, Bo's going to therapy, oh, she needs help. Then mom is going to jump into mom mode and want to take over again. It's just it just kind of messes up with the natural flow of things when it's like those genders crossed.
Right.
Yeah.
Am I on the right track? Am I wrong?
Right. No, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, she brought it back up.
Right. And I think he needed to go through that to see, what Zoe tells him afterwards, which is, of course, hey, there's only one number one, and that's true.
Right.
There's only one number one in your life. Sorry.
So once marriage hits, we gotta cut what we tell our parents. Like during the dating phase, it's okay.
You shouldn't do it either.
Right.
You shouldn't say it at all.
If you're dating somebody to possibly marry them, then I don't. Yeah.
Then you're only telling the good, because mama is not forgiving. Like
and
we
your
said,
friends too. You can't.
That's a no-no.
Your friends either.
That's a no. That's a whole different. There's no line for that. You're just out. You just can't be in someone's marriage, because those opinions are they're not relevant.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or you can seek therapy.
Girl, all I need is Jesus in a bath. What you talking about?
Okay, so what's the role of the grandparent? Are they just there for the kids?
Yeah, spoil your kids. Spoil the grandkids.
But they can guide you through your relationship too. Minimal guidance. Minimal.
I think give advice when asked.
Yes.
And that's in every aspect of life, not just as a grandparent to your child and them helping with their child. I think in every aspect. Don't put your nose where it doesn't need to be. If someone asks you for help, then you give it to them. Don't offer stuff that people didn't ask you for.
Exactly. Okay, so it's okay if you go to your mother to say what's going on with you, but you can't include why you're going through it. I don't know, does that relationship cut off once you're married?
Girl, you better ask your pastor.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not gonna spill all the tea in my family, but I know that there are times when like you kind of need that extra guidance.
Right.
You can't cut off that relationship. So I just don't know where we can. I think
it really depends on the relationship. You need to know, okay, how does my parent view my spouse? If they already don't like them, that's clearly not somebody you need to tell any of your issues to.
Right.
But if you have a very impartial parent that is like, okay, now you know you messed up, so you need to think about what you're doing. Don't be mad at your spouse. You know what I mean? If you have a parent that's going to do that and not just be a yes parent, then I think it's probably a little safer. You can probably tell them a little more. Still, you shouldn't tell them everything because that should stay in your marriage.
Exactly.
But I definitely, believe, follow what your parents have done. Like, my parents have been married over 20 years, and so they give guidance to anybody who wants it, including me.
And you're not even married yet.
And I'm not even married, but I hope to be married like them one day. And so, they are more than willing to give help to my cousins, to anybody, but they only do it when asked.
Right.
So,
which makes sense.
Which is what Megan said.
Okay, so we're going to stick with what Zoe said. Keep the natural order. Wife is number one. Mom can have her little tea with the kids and leave it at that.
Yeah. No, you forgot. Mom first, then you get married to your wife, then it's your daughter that you're going to give all your inheritance
Okay,
to.
all your money to. I like that, though. I like that, yes.
It's always so sweet. Look, and she's straightened out. You see Diane like, please help. And she helps Diane with her hair. That was cute.
Oh,
that was a
cute.
cool,
She's a good sister.
nice ending. Really nice ending. So, who wins? Who wins between this?
Bo, hello.
Bo wins?
Bo wins.
Okay, I agree. Let's get into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, before you guys go, I'm going to steal a prediction. I really think that we're going to see Pops and Jennifer Lewis come together and have their little feud next episode.
Okay.
Is she staying that long?
It looks like she was leaving, but I hope because she did so great this episode, then they're going to give us more.
Okay. Right. I hope so.
Yeah, I can see that. And then, hopefully we see Junior and Natalie hit it off.
Oh, yes.
Expand their cute little nerdy relationship.
Oh, they are.
I wonder if Zoe's going to help with that, though. Like, since that one didn't work out, is she still going to help with the nerdy situation?
No. This is what I think. I think that Junior's nerdy love is going to, blossom with Natalie, and then he's going to end up giving love advice to Zoe. Like, Zoe's going to, hit and miss with a guy, and he's like, well, you should do this, and he's going to help her be,
vulnerable and sweet.
more successful in her relationship.
Okay.
Very good. Cute.
I like that prediction.
All right, Kenya Bears, who's the creator of this show, don't be trying to steal my ideas if you're not trying to give me no credit. That's all I'm saying. Actually, you can steal it. Just go ahead and text me, DM me, let me know that you're using the ideas.
You just have to come to the show.
Yes.
That's the only stipulation.
Can we please get you on? Please.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Everyone, tweet Kenya Bears, the creator of this wonderful show, and tell him he needs to come on our AfterBuzz show so you guys can ask him all kinds of questions.
Yes. Are we done for now?
We are.
All right. No gossip, no news, all predictions done? Okay, great. Anyways, where can everybody find you guys?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Shaprintance Lynn, 2 N's.
All right, and as always, you can find me, Megan Thomas, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Teznos. As always, please tweet us all of your comments under the hashtag BlackishABC, and we're serious. Please get Kenya Bears to come into the show. We would love you. Yes. We'll see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.